By gosh, by golly, it's Fireman Sam. My God, I love this television program, and let me tell you, it's saved my life on more than one occasion. Whenever there's a fire, you contact Fireman Sam, for he is the king of fire safety and the commander of important fire-related events. It was a television show, one of which I was a huge fan, or so I thought. I'm not talking about fanning the flames of this incredible television program. I'm talking about being one of the biggest Fireman Sam promoters and one of the higher ups at Mattel Creations. When I wasn't helping them develop the newest Barbie doll or designing the next action fan Power Man, I was watching this amazing, life-changing, award-winning television program, Fireman Sam. Have I convinced you yet? Every week, Fireman Sam would solve the fire problem, usually by spraying it with water, foam, or a combination of water and foam. But there's a creepy and disturbing missing Fireman Sam VHS tape that pretty much changes the entire show's canon and suggests to the less inquisitive viewer that something may be seriously wrong with Mr. Sam. Or at least according to my boss, Mr. Larson. I initially started to question his fire training when I saw a very strange missing episode of Fireman Sam. As someone who worked for the company, I knew I wasn't supposed to watch the tape, but I just couldn't help myself. Mattel issued a verbal warning telling me not to go into the digital archives, and I was quickly fired, pun not intended, but given suspension without pay for going into the digital archives. I just wanted to see what was in those digital archives. Missing Snoopy reels? A fantastic playlist of sorts? But no, none of that at all. I told them that I would put the tape back, but I replaced it with a fraudulent one. A video of an old birthday party involving Barney where some of the parents were drinking wine and driving recklessly. Videotape of my life. The tape was oddly titled Summer 1976. I immediately got into my car and drove home, locked the door, and put the tape in. What followed was a very, very strange VHS, one that I shouldn't talk about. But since I'm doing it under anonymous circumstances, I'm certain I can divulge. The show used cutting-edge CG, and it was part of the reason why I was such a huge fan. CG like this only comes around every decade or so. The highest quality CG that money could buy. But here, Fireman Sam's eyes were very wide, slightly bloodshot. The artist had taken care to draw the veins. Well, this was just a Fireman sham. I was disturbed. You know, if you suffer enough third-degree burns, the flesh literally melts like ice cream. The dermis cannot regenerate, and you're basically a bleeding, blistering bag of pus. The hell? He continued, if you were to cremate someone, the left-behind ashes would make up 1, maybe 2 pounds of the person's total body weight, meaning most of you have turned into smoke. Your whole body will fit into McDonald's drive-through lunch bag. What in God's name? I suddenly got really confused and scared. The camera cuts to show that no one is in the fire truck with him. He's talking to himself. Anyway, you may think that's the one weird part. And that's what I thought. I was going to contact my supervisor, Dennis Bregel, and ask him what this was all about. But what happened next sent a shiver up my spine. It made me question whether any of this was happening at all. You see Fireman Scam pull up to the fire. He has a bunch of pre-recorded cassette tapes in his fireman coat pocket. And yes, it's a fire. The CG flames were lapping quite intensely, with tiny holes in the fire, as though the fire was alive. It was a cake shop. The cake shop was on fire. I didn't want to see the cakes burn. Fireman Sam gets out of his fire truck and gets the fire nozzle ready. Oh, thank God you're here, Fireman Sam, the Hiller Bake Shop has. Suddenly her speech is cut off as though something has been shoved in the voice actor's mouth. Oh, what in God's name. Y'all ready for this? Fireman Sam was shooting firefighting foam into the old woman's mouth. Bloody Christ! Fireman Sam yells, taking the good Lord's name in vain. We've got a Class C! And I'm not talking about coffee and cupcakes, you bloody asshole! What? Why would he say that? He shoots his special foam into the old woman's mouth. She starts to swallow the foam, and he keeps spraying his special foam into her mouth, and she gurgles it and falls over, and he sprays the head of the writhing body. I'm gonna need backup! Fireman Sam yells as the dead woman lays there, pulsing, writhing, choking. It was too late for CPR. She was dead. Fireman Sam had murdered a woman. He walked into the bake shop and greeted the fire. Thank you, ma'am. He was talking to the fire. You know, you can only do reverse psychology twice, and then you're reaching the laws of diminishing returns. He tips his fire hat as the fire continues to grow. It was an electrical fire. Someone had left the bagel cooker on too long. This was the episode that was supposed to introduce his fire dog, Harvey. But Harvey was nowhere to be found. And how old are you, little flamey? He kneels down and shakes hands with the flame. His hand, unsurprisingly, catches on fire. Boy, we got a crowd in here. It was Fireman Sam. Nice to meet all of you. No need to thank me. Oh, all right, listen, he was talking to the growing flame that now covered the exit. Ah! He screamed. He was being burned. Fireman Sam was being burned by the flames. You see his blood, guts, and internal organs sizzling as his shoes melt into the floor, and the flame begins to burn the flesh on his face, burn it down to a skull, and the skull was burning. Ew! An autograph! His tongue had melted into his cheek. I needed to face reality here. Fireman Sam was dead. The CG skeleton lay there as the camera zoomed out. Hear a lot of fumbling and arguing as the voice actors start yelling. It was that older firefighter. What do you mean? I gave you voice work? You hear crackling as though a fire is being started. And then Fireman Sam said something really weird. Those who are in the unenviable position of living, or working with a narcissist, have learned through sad trial and error that they are the only one in the relationship who can change the dynamic. You know what? I shut the tape off. What the fuck was this? Under the terms of employment, I was forced to carry fire insurance, specifically because of the nature of the program I was a part of. But something very, very strange happened next. The VHS tape player, an old one I borrowed from a relative, began to sizzle and produce smoke. I went and I hit it to stop the smoke. In doing so, I pressed play. The tape continued. Sam the fireman was talking over his own dead body that had been burned. His skeleton was being consumed by flame as well. Fire consumes, makes things bright to show us the way, but it can also burn us and kill us. What the fuck? What the fucking... what? Fire is like the sun. We need to survive, but it will also horribly burn us if we get too close. What was a shitty Greek mythology reference doing in Mattel's programming lineup? You see a hand-drawn portrait of the devil in the corner. Some chanting begins. I was confused, Fireman Sam continued. I came out of this as a GCSE equivalent graduate with hopes and dreams, a desire to quell the flames. And soon I became the flames. I didn't realize how strange it was to be anything at all. I tried to stake a claim to oxygen, heat, and any physical material. And that was me. I was the physical material. Nature did the rest. I'm dead now. Forever. All the people I tried to save are gone forever, but I couldn't save them. Fireman Sam's voice began to cry, the voice actor sounding uneasy. I only shortened the inevitable. Suddenly the tape clipped completely. I first heard crying, but then it turned into laughing. He was laughing and laughing and laughing away as I heard the sound of a siren. All this talk of ritual and sacrifice was far too frightening, but I was suddenly transfixed. And yeah, my VHS tape player was still smoking, but the skeleton, or what was left of it, was still talking. The scary thing, and I know you won't believe me, is that skeletons burn. That's why I no longer feel disheveled. The smoke began to cover the artificial camera that existed in fictional CGI space. At first it hurts, he continued, but the screen was just gray with an occasional smoke flicker. But the idea of hurt is relative. You only feel pain because pain is related to non-pain. But soon non-pain exists and nothing hurts because hurt itself is defined by what does not hurt. What? When everything hurts, nothing does. Infinite pain is equal to infinite pleasure. And I hope we all die in a fire together. It'll be so wonderful, except for those that have not died in the fire. We'll all be dead together. Zero is also infinity. I'll kill you. I love you. Suddenly, my fire alarm went off. The smoke from the VHS had started to obscure the screen of my 80s bubble television. A flame was traveling up the wall behind me. The VHS power cord looked like a flaming snake. Jesus Christ, it whispered. I mean, it was just the show. Power cords can't whisper. Thing is, the thing fell on the floor, and I assumed that was just the heat from the flames. The heat from the flames. The flames blocked the doors. I'd set up the VHS tape player and bubble TV just 2 feet from the entrance. There were no fire exits, as I had hired an independent contractor to cover the rear exit, create a breakfast nook. But I didn't want breakfast right now. But now the flames had covered everything. The VHS tape player cracked and contorted. It was smiling at me. Happy Halloween, it chortled, like modems squealing out of holes in its cheeks. It was disheveled. We're all disheveled. Everybody's disheveled. A feeling of spiraling out of control. A feeling of complete and total loss of control. I called 911. Help me, Fireman Sam! But it was just a dial tone. The 911 operator wasn't there. Nobody picked up. Save me, Samsus! A satanic figure emerged from the background with red eyes, dementia, and a pitchfork and tail. He smiled. I want you to meet my son. The flames continued to eat the background. His name is David Berkovich, but you may know him as Sam. Enjoy the heat this summer. I decided to call my boss. I quickly dialed the number, I being a Mattel employee. I just heard the voice of a Barbie voice actor on the other line. This is Fireman Sam, and I want to wish you a happy birthday. What in God's name? I heard you were 4 years dead today, so I just want to say, happy death day. May you never die on death day. Except for today, because it's your death day. You're 0 days old. Nobody loves you. You're covered in mold. I screamed. The audio continued. You're dead today, so happy death day. I'll fucking kill you on your death day. What in God's name? The Mattel employee continued. June 2nd, 2020 is National Arson Day. Set yourself on fucking fire. My hate for you is oxygen, and you, son, are the pyre. I'll kill all your family and friends. Oh, wait. You don't have any friends. Click. I immediately redialed. Fireman Sam smiled. The skull in the TV smiled. The VHS tape smiled. The 911 operator began to laugh and probably smiled. I started to inhale into a McDonald's drive-thru bag. Coughing, wheezing, hacking, coughing. As the smoke filled my lungs. That's how it is, you know. Breathe in, breathe out. Drugs to keep you calm. Your nerves still hurt, but the pathway to your brain doesn't know it. Prescription medicine that does less than over-the-counter ones. You say bless you when someone sneezes because their heart stops for a second. Objects in mirror may be closer than they appear. Jet fuel can't melt steel beams. That's the great thing about fire, though. It's not superstitious. It doesn't discriminate. Now, as I said earlier, you're supposed to carry fire insurance. You're supposed to carry fire insurance in case of a fire. And that's what I did. I did everything the boss told me to. That's exactly what I did. So I'll tell you what. That's enough about you. Let's talk about me. Coming soon... Coming soon to a theater near you. Plastic Barbie and the cheap flammable lawn chairs. Fireman Sam meets melted polyvinyl chloride, synthetic fiber, elastomer, PBT, and smiling water-based paint. Government-funded research as neon noble gas steer technology and a sugar-powered cosmic death ray.
pointed directly into your fucking television programming cranium. It will burn mankind's reflecting remaining intelligentsia like ants under the magnifying glass known as the almighty dollar. My favorite weakly brisket, red and blue infused cloth napkin, a cock-sucking celebratory dance for those who are already dead. We're already dead. Franklin D. Rosa, go fuck yourself. High level occultist. Social Armageddon. I saw it in a dream, and I killed it in a dream. 576 659 6969 667.
I picked up the phone again and heard merely a dial tone, as no one was on the other line. Anyway, I died in a house fire.